Okay, electric field due to linear charge distribution. So consider a linear charge, line charge, a wire maybe, or a rod which is infinitely long, very long, and it has some charge density, constant charge density, that is a linear charge density, lambda. So lambda in this case is, lambda is equal to charge per unit length, but we don't know how much is this length. This length is going up to infinity. We are interested to find what is the electric field at point P due to this kind of very long, infinitely long charged wire. Okay, so how to do this? So in order to do this, we cannot go for the whole length. So we'll start with small region, small length, and then we'll use the power of integration to find the electric field due to everyone, all the charge of the whole length at P. So we start by considering two small length element. Consider two small length element, dx and dx dash, maybe dash, exactly symmetrically opposite point from the origin. This green line is the origin line and the point P is lying on it. The point P is at a distance r from this center, from the center of the origin. This is point O. We are interested to find what is the electric field at that point. So that's why we choose these two length element dx and dx dash. Let dq and dq dash be the charge on this small, very small length element, very small length element. Okay, so now this will do what? They will have their influence at P. So if I place a test charge q naught there, what you will see? This dq is going to repel it. This dq charge is going to repel it. So definitely it is going to repel it like this. Similarly, dq dash, if I place a test charge q naught, the dq dash will also repel it. Right? So that means if this distance is x, this is r, how much is this distance? This is again r square plus x square root. This is also r square plus x square root. Correct? We need to find what is electric field this way. So if we compare this distance and this distance, we see they are same. That means the electric field at P due to dq and due to dq dash will be same only. The magnitude will be same. So this is the small electric field d due to dq, and dq dash, this will be dq de dash. They are same at point P. Okay, the magnitude is same because the distance between them is same, exactly same. So the magnitude has to be same, but the direction is not same. So in order to find the direction, let's say this angle is theta, this angle is also, let's say, theta. Okay, so if these two is theta, what we can do now? Let us make the other, let us draw the x-axis here. So these are x-axis, these are y-axis. Okay, so these are x-axis, these are y-axis. Now we can resolve this vector d dash and de into two components. We can break it into two components. The first component will be this one, two perpendicular component, this one as well as this one, and de also in two components, two perpendicular components. Okay, so in order to break it, you also need to know which are the angles. Which are the angles? So this is theta, means which one will be theta? Again, this one will be theta. This one will be theta. Again, this is theta, means again this is also theta. That means this is the cos component. I will take another angle, another color. Let's say the yellow color to explain it for the other one. So this is the cos component. This would be again this is the perpendicular component. So as you can see, our components present here are all the cos component, all the cos components, dE cos theta, components of both of the electric fields are getting adding up, dE dash cos theta getting added up, and these are what? dE dash sin theta, and this is dE sin theta. They are equal and opposite, so they will cancel out. Only the cos component is going to get what? Added up. So we can start writing like this. We can consider an infinitely long charged wire, or charged wire or rod, whatever, charged wire having uniform charge density, uniform linear charge density, lambda, that is, which is equals to total charge Q by total length, but L and Q is not given to us, so we need to find it. Therefore, again we will consider two small length element. Consider two small length elements, dx and dx dash at x and x dash symmetrically about the origin O. Okay, so now electric field due to dx, small electric field dE due to dq will be how much? dE will give me k dq by how much is distance? This is, okay, let us do like this. Let us name this as y. Let us name this portion as y. So we will write this as r. Overall we will write this as r. So let us name this as y. So this is y square plus x square, this is y square plus x square. So then will be, and this is equals to r. You can write this r equals to this. So here we can write dq by r square, or we can write k dq by y square plus x square, but the charge density is uniform, as lambda equals to q by L, or you can also write as the uniform. So small charge over small element will be written as done by dq by dx. Therefore we can write dq would be equals to lambda dx, or we can say dE will become now k lambda dx by y square plus x square. So this is our fundamental equation. Okay, at P all the cos components, all the horizontal component, you see these are all the cos components, all the horizontal components components due to symmetrical elements. Symmetrical elements like dx and dx dash about O will add up. Whereas the perpendicular component, the perpendicular component will cancel out. So total electric field E would be equal to, total electric field DE will be actually integration of DE all the cos theta. As you see, all the cos are in the same direction, so they get add up. But sine components will cancel out. So that means my total, if I integrate this, I am going to get this E DE cos theta. Okay, but it is going from where to where? Remember, we say the wire is infinitely long. That means it is going from minus infinity to plus infinity. So we will place the equations here now. So we can write D is what? K. Let it be here, minus infinity to plus infinity. This will give me K lambda dx by y square plus x square, and then cos theta. Cos theta, look at the triangle here. From this triangle, as you can see, cos theta would be base by hypotenuse. So y by r. So this would be y by y square plus x square half. Correct? Now this limit, minus infinity to plus infinity, this one. So how do we integrate this? In order to integrate this, we will make some substitution. This is done by substitutional method. So let's see what is this. So I will take this equation. So our equation is E equal to K minus infinity to plus infinity, and then I have here K lambda dx by y square plus x square to the power, as you can see, it is 3 by 2. It would be y square plus x square, or else let us do like this. Let us keep the cos theta only, because we will make a substitution. Now let x is equal to y tan theta. Remember, y is constant here. Y is a constant, that's why we are substituting. X is not constant because x is going to keep increasing. Dx will be the next, it will keep increasing, and as it increases, theta will also be increasing, but y will remain the same. Okay, so we are taking x equal to y tan theta. So if I differentiate this, I should get here y sec square theta d theta. Sec square theta d theta. So change the boundary now. So when x is equals to infinity, so when x is equals to, because this one boundary element, we are doing x is equals to minus infinity, what would be tan theta then? You see, minus infinity would be equals to y tan of theta. So I get here my infinity, so theta must be also equal to minus pi by 2, because at tan 90 degree it is infinity, so it is minus pi by 2. And when x is equals to plus infinity, then plus infinity will give me y tan theta. So again theta will become my plus pi by 2. These are my boundary, means we have changed it. So if I draw this way, like this way, so you see, this is our point P, this is our point. So we are making this go almost like 90 degree, almost this angle going so far from here like this. This is the point. This angle is almost equal to 90 degree. This is what we are saying. This angle is almost 90 degree when this x goes up to infinity, this x goes up to infinity, the angle over there approaches towards 90. This is what we are saying. So we will plug these values there. Now if I do, E would be equal to k, then minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Let us substitute this value, x equal to y there. So k lambda dx by y square, x is equal to this, so this one would be y square tan square theta plus y square, and then we have cos theta there. Okay, wait, now this dx also I should change it. I should change it to y sec square theta d theta. So k minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, then I write here k lambda y sec square theta, then there is a cos theta, then there will be this cos theta also, let it be there, cos theta d theta divided by, I can take y square common out, so tan square theta plus 1, that gives me again sec square theta, so this gives me y square sec square theta. Okay, because this thing will going to give me tan square theta plus 1, which is sec square theta. So you can clearly see these things get cancelled, y and 1y get cancelled. So we have here k, so sorry, I should not write again k here, I have already written k, so no need to write k again. So then I'll get here minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, then we have here lambda cos theta d theta divided by y sec theta, y sec theta, correct? So then anything else, oh sorry, no sec theta, only cos theta, sec square theta I have already cancelled it, so it should be only cos theta. So now if I integrate this, that means we only need to integrate, I will take k out, lambda out, y minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, only cos theta d theta. So integration of this, integration of cos theta, as you know, it would be sin theta. So I'll get here, so I will get here so we should get here now, so where is it, yeah, minus pi by 2 pi by 2, I should get here sin theta. So k lambda y, this gives me sin theta minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So if I apply it, let's see what do I get. K lambda y, I should get here, I should be getting here sin 90 plus sin 90, because minus pi, it become minus minus plus now, that gives me 1 plus 1, 2. So I get here 1 by, sorry, k lambda y into 2. So if I write this properly, I should not dE anymore, it should be E, complete electric field now. So E will give me now 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 lambda by y. So if I generalize this y as r, now you can cancel this and you can write this as E equals to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by y. Now generalizing it in terms of r, instead of writing this y, we can write this as r. R is the general distance always we consider, because r is the position vector. So we can write this as generalizing. So if I generalize, E would be equals to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by r. This is the electric field due to an infinitely long charge wire. So you can clearly see from the expression, this electric field only depends on the charge distribution, and it depends on how far is the point P from this charge distribution. It do not depends on individual charges. So it just depends on what is the linear charge density present on the wire. If you know the linear charge density, you can easily find it. The better way to write this expression would be multiplied by 2. This expression is the better way to write it, because then this quantity become 9 by 9 into 10. That means I can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 lambda by r. this is better way. That means 9 into 10 to the power 9 2 lambda by r. This is better way to write it. Do it. Now vector diagram, as you can see, the vector is, this is in vector notation, this is along the y cap direction. This is along y cap, that is j cap direction, sorry. So E vector in this case, in vector notation I can write E vector would be 9 into 10 to the power 9 2 lambda by r j cap. This is the vector notation. So this is how, what is the electric field due to? Electric field due to a linear charge density at a point using continuous charge distribution method. We can do the same thing with Gauss law. Okay, but this is in terms of continuous charge distribution. I hope you are able to understand it.